Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Good to see everyone. Wow. All right. So, Liz, I had her playing awesome music, and of course, I ruined it by taking back over. Liz, if you're still on, go ahead and put our music back on, and you can turn it down just a little bit so I can ask everybody how they're doing. If you are here, go into the chat. Tell me where you're coming from. If you are a first-time person to Sherri Johnson Coaching, I'm seeing a lot of people I recognize names. So good to see all of you. My Long and Foster people, I see you. Cordell is in the house. Buddy, what's going on? How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. I can't believe what an outpouring of funness we see on this screen right now. If you are tuning in, by the way, please take a moment, go into the chat, tell me where you're calling in from. I see Maryland, Rockville. Hi, Rashi. Good to see you. And so many more people. So if you're here and you are on camera, if you're not on camera, I suggest you put it on camera so you can have a better coaching experience with me. It's a lot easier for me to see your faces when we're coaching. So I think you'll be more engaged if you can put your cameras on. You can stay muted, of course. And let's see, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes as people are getting in here. And let me go back into our participants. Gosh, more people in the waiting room. So I see Fort Washington, Denver. Yes. Hi, Michael. Great to see you. I love my folks from the Denver market. I see Midlothian. Hi, Jim Dorsey. Jana Pearman in Texas. Wow, this is going to be fun. All right. So I'm sure everybody was like, whoa, on the title. But, here's the deal. If you can't see the goal, if you can't say to yourself, like, what does another 300 grand do to my year? Right? Maybe it's your first 300 that you're making ever. Maybe it's you're at a plateau right now and you're saying, I can make another 300 grand. I have the leads. I just have to have a better strategy. Wherever you are in your business life cycle, you're going to get something great from today. I know it. And I just let a ton of people in, Liz. So I don't know if you're doing, if you can still do that or not. I think I messed up and made you not the co-host. So let me go to Liz. Of course, let's check this out. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. So Catalyst Coaching, you are back to co-host. Sorry about that. I came in here like a crazy person. All right. So I see some more folks. I see your cameras are on. Thank you. If you're just joining us, go into the chat. Please tell me where you're calling in from. I'm pumped. It feels like an incredible spring market right now. I know there's a lot going on. People are, the stock market's been crazy for the last week. We all have control over our destiny. We all have control over how much success you bring into 2025. That's what we're going to talk about today. It's not rocket science. This is a mindset issue that you have. And today, I'm going to help you change your mindset so that you can say, I'm adding another $300,000 to my income. And many of you might have been on a course I recently did called 90 Days to 100K. If you were on that, 90 Days to 100K. Again, similar mindset. We have to say, what is my why? What am I waking up for? What is my literal plan? If you don't have a plan, that's why you're kind of just floundering around, right? So we are at about 4 minutes after 1. I'm going to start here in a second. Go into the chat. Tell me where you're calling from. And if this is your first time, raise your hand if you've never been on I feel like everyone here has been. Has everyone heard me before? Is this a room full of Sherri Johnson diehards? I think we have a group of regulars. That's awesome. I'm so excited. I have a big announcement to make when we get everybody on here. And one of those announcements is to say that we are investing in your success. I am having a new coaching program I just launched called Catalyst. Why did I name it Catalyst? Well, you can just imagine, right? The word catalyst itself means something is going to change, right? What is the change agent that has to happen in us to take you to the next level, whatever that means? That might mean that you are spending more time with your kids. That's next level for me. That might mean that you get to a point of income because you put systems in place and because you did the hard, heavy lifting. And now you can actually have residual income. You can actually sell more while working less. Whatever that looks like for you, I want you to have that. Okay. So I see Miami is in the house. Maria, nice to see you. I'm so glad you made it. And my very good friend, Stacy Watson from Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you, Stace, for being here. Can't wait to see you in person. And, you know, the second thing I want to tell you, so Catalyst Coaching is really Sherri Johnson Coaching launched weekly in a literal every Thursday at 1 o'clock. How many of you are going to be here every Thursday at 1 o'clock? You can tune in for free coaching. We're going to bring you value added free coaching that will help you take your business to the next level. And it's every week. So we're going to give away a really awesome gift to you today. If you stay on at the end, I'm going to give you my calendar and time slots book up. So, you know, if you get on my calendar for a free coaching call, 20-minute coaching call with me to take to whatever you want to do. We'll talk about your gold mine pipeline. If you haven't done gold mine pipeline, we'll launch your pipeline. If you are sitting here saying, I need to change this about my business, we'll talk about that. I want it to be transformative. I want you to write down a few things, right, when I'm talking. Right now, what has to change in your business? What challenges are you facing that are keeping you from making $300,000? What if you didn't have those challenges? What if instead of a to-do list, you made a do not do list? How about a stop doing list? Everybody feel me on that? Here's the deal. When we trade time for something, we are giving up that time. We don't get that time back. So I want you, while I'm talking, I want you to write down a few things you could eliminate from your weekly habits that are not probably serving you. One of which might be binge watching Netflix. I don't know. I'm just going to say that one. Okay. It's on somebody's list because it's on mine, right? Who has time? Who has time to watch White Lotus? I mean, come on, right? I mean, we're all watching it. I get it. There's a time and place for that. But think about it. If I have business to do, if I have a commitment, if your best alarm clock is purpose and having a plan that says, I'm doing this until it's done, nothing will stop you. I just got asked to speak as a keynote for this women's leadership council to help women start businesses in an area that, you know, is probably not as affluent where people would just start businesses, right? Educational, all those things. And what's so inspiring about that is I was asked to like tell my story, like, what did you do? How did you start this coaching company? Well, the same way I started anything, right? Same way I started my real estate company, my real estate business. You have to say, I'm doing this. And if we can't get to that point, I don't think I can help you, right? That's an inside job that you have to say, I need to change these things in my mindset in order to be successful. So as I'm talking, I want you to write down that, yes, there's a lot of things you're going to put on there today that are to-dos, action items to implement. For sure. That's easy. The list of things that has to be removed might not be as easy. And that might include some people. How many of you have people that need to come out of your life? The naysayers, the people that are just sucking the life out of us. We all have them. You'll have them. Some are serving you, some are not. And some decisions have to be made. And I think, like, I always feel like I get the same lesson over and over until I learn it, right? And sometimes I just keep letting these people in and wondering, like, oh, this isn't good for me. And that might be people, that might be beliefs, that might be whatever it is you're consuming. It might be habits. You might have to write down some things that have to do with health that are going to help you get to where you want to go, right? I find that how I do anything is how I do everything. Does everybody agree with that? Like, how you do anything is how you do everything. And that right there, you can look at every area of your life and say, I need to make some changes. Okay. So we're gonna launch into how do you make 300 grand happen? Like it's literally the thing that drives. Now you guys see in my slide deck. Tell me you are. Yes. Okay. I see somebody raised their hand. Thank you. All right. So here we go. Ah. All right. So everybody, I want you to write down $300,000. I want you to say to yourself, now, if you've never made $300,000, this is pretty exciting. If you just want to make another $300,000, it's also pretty exciting. And you're probably like, why did I write 300? Well, because it's always in our coaching calls where I meet with people and they're like, I don't think I could do 3. I don't think I can make that. I don't have the sphere. I don't have the connections, right? Success is not measuring yourself compared to other people, but rather measuring yourself against what you're capable of doing. So I want you to think about when I go through this mindset right now, like what is holding you back? Maybe you have a part-time job you need to quit. This is one of my favorite things to tell people to do. Like, how many deals is the equivalent of your income at that part-time job? You're making $52,000. I just had this conversation with an agent in Houston. She's making $52,000. I said, you make on average $12,000 a deal. Do the math. I mean, she needs like 5 deals, right? And in an industry where most agents are selling less than 12 houses a year, what opportunity do you see? Because she quit her job. I'm so excited. This woman literally quit her job. She might even be on here. But think about that. This $52,000 desk job, while it was paying the bills, right? The mindset to shift to say, I'm done. I'm not keeping that job. Is it a risk? Maybe. Do you bet on yourself? Do you bet on your own hard work, grit, and self-confidence that you can do it? I know you can. Most of coaching, by the way, is not making people great. I don't make people great. I bring out the greatness you already have inside of you. You just didn't realize you had it. So when you think about this right now, you're going to make a list. I want you to write these things down. Connect with me. If you don't have my contact information, go ahead and scan that. I'll give it to you again at the end of our session. But think about this. What do I need to tell myself? Sometimes it's literally the self-talk. People are always shocked to hear that I'm kind of an introvert, extrovert, okay? But when you tell yourselves those tapes, those things that say you can't do something. Now, I had a mother who told me I could do anything. And she was amazing. And she came from nothing, wildly successful. Didn't go to college, neither of my parents did. Wildly successful, built a huge company, sold it. They didn't help me start my company, tell you that. And they weren't going to give me money when I started my real estate career, thank God, either. But what tapes do you tell yourselves? Do you tell yourself that you can or that you can't? I've never liked that phrase. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I've actually never liked that phrase. It actually makes me cringe. And I'm going to tell you why. Probably because it has the word can't in it. And I just don't like to say can't. But the longer I've been coaching, this 8 years, right? We are sending the recording out to you. Yes, we're recording this and you'll get it, Andrea. Perfect. And Ashley, I love this 370 goal. Maybe by the end of this, you might increase that. I don't know. But think about this. Like, I literally remember my mom saying to me, you can do anything that you want. Okay. And what I'm going to tell you is you just have to be the first person to believe it. So whatever the number is, like I always say, here's the goal you had before you met me. Why do I say that? Because again, back to if you think you can or you think you can't, that phrase is awful, but it's right. If you are in the mindset right now that you can't on this, there's probably nothing I'm going to say today. You'll get off of this session, this coaching session, and say, wow, Sherri Johnson's full of energy. She's crazy. She's a firecracker or whatever. And you'll be like, yeah. But if you don't do anything, right? If you don't do anything with it, or your mindset isn't going to change, I can't change that. And so some of it is an inside job. And you have to look in and say, you know what? I can't be the person I was before. And I'm going to get, just do the same thing, do what you always did, get what you always got, right? Nothing changes, nothing changes. And so you have to be the first person to say, I'm going to make these changes. I'm going to make them today, and I'm going to excel, and I'm going to crush it. And I'm not going to be like everybody else. I'm going to actually be at the top. That's it. That's the difference between you and the people that you see at the top. Whether they're in the top 1% of your company, in your marketplace, wherever, okay? So if you haven't downloaded my podcast, this is the retired podcast, but it's awesome. There are over 300 episodes. Please get your Sherri Johnson groove on. Listen to the podcast. You'll love it. People have told me they've sold 5 houses from the podcast, never coached with us. I know you'll get something out of this, okay? I know it. So download the podcast, start listening to it today. We've been ranked, 32 in the country for real estate sales strategies. I know you'll get something out of it. There are some great webinar interviews on there as well with people that I think you will love. Now I need you to write these 2 words down, or actually it's 3. I will blank until blank. Now this is a magic formula. This is the difference between making $100,000 this year and making 300 grand. This is the difference between making 300,000 that you were already going to make and 600. Okay. If you're at 150 and you want to make 450 this year, this is why you're writing this down. Okay. This is all a math formula and a strategy. But if you don't have a I will until mindset, literally nothing's going to happen. So I need you to tell me that you will do something until something happens. Okay. It's not enough to say, I hope that I get a listing this week. I don't know who's going to list with you if you act that way. I mean, yes, you can manifest things. I do that all the time, but there's a lot of grit that goes into making it happen. And so top agents make it happen. Top agents make it happen. You cannot hope and expect to have something happen. I will until it's going to give you this type of mindset. And here's how it goes. I will blank until blank happens. So for example, if I'll give you this one, I will call until I have 4 listing appointments for the week, every week. I will make calls and connect with people on social media. I will keep doing it. I'm not going to set a goal. I'm going to make 20 calls. I don't know. If you don't get 4 appointments in those 20 calls, you didn't actually do anything. You just made 20 good calls. So I will do X until Y happens. Now that might look like I will make X number of calls, or I will just keep calling until I get X number of appointments. If you set an appointment goal, this is the fall through. This is the weakest point of an agent's business, is they don't have appointments booked for the week. And the only way you're going to be front and center in front of a client to sign a listing agreement or an exclusive buyer agreement is if you have appointments. And so our biggest failure area is that we don't book appointments. And this drives me insane because agents are like, I don't have appointments this week. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, it's going to be another week that goes by without any business. It's going to be another week, or worse off, 2 more weeks. And then the weeks turn into months and you have a roller coaster ride of income. So to dictate and predict and actually have complete control over what you're going to do, you have to have a plan, right? I will until we'll come back to that several times today. If you want to be in the mindset of thinking big, you have to think big. I need you to say to yourselves, what can I do if I knew that the failure wouldn't affect me. I mean, guys, failure is part of the gig. Actually, getting ghosted is part of the deal. People aren't ready. It doesn't mean they're a bad lead, but we just blow those people off, I guess. I don't know. Every lead is a good lead. Please write that down. Every single lead should be on your goldmine pipeline until they buy or list or both. Okay. You do not need to practice what other coaches tell you. Okay. Which is if somebody ghosts you after the third time, drop them and move on. I don't want to make 350 calls a week. I don't think you want to either. I don't want you to. I'd rather you have less people, more people on your pipeline, roughly 40 to 60 people on your pipeline at all times at varying stages of their home buying and selling, and it will happen. But you have to say, first off, I'm going to think really big. I'd rather you shoot for the moon on an income goal and come up short on that one than just shoot for the flagpole number and hit the flagpole because it's not that high versus like shoot for 300, shoot for 450. Whatever you made last year, right? Why couldn't you double that? You made $150,000 last year. What could we do to ensure that you would double that this year? Now, one of the best strategies I've ever realized in real estate was the one where you sell 3 to 5 houses off of every one of your listings. Now, if you can grab onto this, what we coach agents to do very successfully is turn one sale, one listing into 3 to 5 more sales. Why we are all not doing this is beyond me. This is how I built my business. I had 5 sales my very first month in real estate. Nothing handed to me, nothing. And so one of those sales was from my sphere. Thank you, Tim Kren from 2nd grade. He bought a condo from me. Great guy, really good friend of mine still. And then the other 4 deals came from one listing. I sold it myself at the open house, 2 sales. Those people had a house to sell. I sold it within a week. And I picked up a buyer and sold him another house somewhere else in the same month. So 4 sales came from one house. If you aren't doing this, it is a massive missed opportunity. If you just put a sign up, sell a house, put it in the MLS, sell it, go on to the next sale, you're missing a huge opportunity. Everyone in our coaching program and many people have made hundreds of thousands of dollars just doing this one thing, this one strategy, okay, which is maximizing and literally leveraging that sale into more sales. But if you're not doing that, you're just going on to the next deal. And that is a missed opportunity. Most in our coaching, when people sign up, they go through a skills assessment and we say, I sell, 3 to 5 houses off of every one of my listings. No one's ever said yes. No one in 8 years. And even before that, when I was, running a company, no one has ever said, yes, I have a plan in place. So this is going to leverage you to sell more people. Okay. So why is this possible? Because you're being hyper strategic. Okay. And that only happens if you say, I'm going to look at a time period and I'm going to book appointments and I'm going to have a plan to make 100 grand. Now in the 90 days to 100 grand, we talk about this 90 days to 100 grand. We now have 3 quarters, right? So there's your $300,000. You might actually say, I'm going to put a plan in place to do 300,000 in less than 9 months. That's okay. But what if you broke it down and literally broke it down into a quarter, $100,000 per quarter? What if you said, here's my average sale price. Here's what I make per deal. This is how many sales I need. Hyper strategic, okay? Rather than just winging it. Here's an idea, and I want you to write this down, okay? Number 1, what if you had between now, what is this, April 10th? Between now and the end of the year, you were to list 10 more homes at a certain price point. Like, I want you to list more than 10 homes between now and the end of the year. But what if 10 of them were over a certain price point that you wanted to break into? What if you said, I want to give myself a raise, Sherri Johnson, like you talk about, and I want 10 of the next, I'm going to list 24 houses in the next 9 months. I want 10 of them to be over a certain price point. Could you not make that happen? Yes. You just have to think it into existence. It requires having a plan. It requires being hyper strategic. So I want you to say, what neighborhoods would I go to? Well, if I am in Baltimore, Maryland, I see a lot of my peeps from there, I would say I'm going after the $1 million market. My current average sale price is 500, but why couldn't I go get 10 listings that are over $1 million? I have a team doing that right now. So it doesn't mean, well, I've never done $1 million sale before. I get it. You also never sold a house before you sold a house before, right? I never ran a half marathon till I ran a half marathon. And I never wanted to run a half. Like, I never thought to do it. What is limiting you from going after a higher price sale? It might be the 500 price point. You might be in a marketplace where your average sale price is 325 right now. And I'm saying go after the 650. Okay. Could you get 10 listings in a specific price point between now and the end of the year? How many of you want to do that? Do it. Just say, I'm doing it. Put it on paper. I see Cordell, and listen, this is just strategy. That's all this is. Being more strategic about your business instead of just saying, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. That's not a good plan. Here to tell you, winging it is a horrible idea. Okay, I know this. You want to be hyper-focused, take a screenshot, take a picture of this, and put this into action. If you don't have my Goldmine Pipeline, Liz or Kristen, would you drop the Goldmine Pipeline download into the chat for everybody? You can download the Goldmine Pipeline system. It does not cost you anything. It is a strategy. It is going to change your life, okay? But we have to have 10x goals, and we have to say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. That's the difference. You can't stop if the day's over and you don't have an appointment. See, that's the difference, right? You're going to make calls. I have agents that say, well, I called 5 people, nobody wants to move. I said, the day is 8 hours long, actually, the work day, right? How long did 5 calls take? Why aren't we following up with people sooner than 5 days after an open house or 2 weeks after an open house? Why aren't we booking the appointment at the open house, right? How about that for a game changer? All of this is within your control, okay? But it has to be a tenacious focus. You have to say, I'm doing this until something happens. And that is the biggest difference in any agent's business that I see, is a time management discipline and setting appointments. So all of you write down literally number of listing appointments per week, and put a number or a blank, and the number of buyer consultation appointments and a blank. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to have any appointments. So set appointments weekly. You have to have appointments in your calendar or nothing is going to happen. We will not have a listing or sale. Another week will go by, 2 more weeks will go by, a month will go by, and we'll be at 0 again for listing, sales, and income. And we can't have that. We have bills to pay. We have lives to fund. We have college to pay for. We have a boat to buy. I don't know what you're doing with your income, but I guarantee that all it takes to switch the gear to say, I'm going to make 300 grand this year, is literally in your brain. That is it. I'm turning that on today. I want you to be wildly successful. Doesn't matter what you used to do. Doesn't matter if 2024 was horrible. It was. It's not a good year. It was the worst year since the 90s. So what? And by the way, I'm not talking about home sale prices. We know when that was. Thank you. 08, 09. What I'm talking about is number of homes sold. Go look it up. You should know these stats, but here's the deal. It doesn't matter. It's in the past. If you had a great year, great. If you had the best year of your life, great. What can you do if you made another 300 grand? There's not a team leader or an agent that when I say that to, they don't get excited. We've had agents go from 350 to 7 figures in less than a year with Goldmine Pipeline. So this stuff works. The tracking and measuring, it is so vital and vitally important that you track and measure your call ratio, your win ratio. What is your conversion? If I were to sit and call 20 people, I have like a 50-50 chance if I'm calling my sphere that they're going to want to move or they'll give you a referral. Worth the calls, yes. Relationships, of course. But let me direct your attention to something better and different. You call 10 expired listings that have been expired for more than a month, or even more than 3 to 6 months, even 2 years back, you will have an 80% close rate, right? At least with our strategy, because they're a qualified lead. They had a sign in their yard. So when people say, how many calls do I have to make to get 4 appointments? I don't know, because I don't know how good you are at converting that call. So what's your strategy when you pick up the phone and call somebody? Is it to get an appointment? Do you have, the ability to ask really good questions and add value and get yourself an appointment? Yes, you do. Even with the B and C people. I want you to meet with the B and C people. I want you to go through your Goldmine Pipeline and meet with the B and C people. Okay, because the B and C people are going to move eventually. Maria's asking a question. Is texting better than calling to avoid the do not call list? Well, I've never had it asked in a way to avoid the do not call list. However, if I got a text from maybe someone I knew, I think that texting people is really effective. Calling and texting and connecting. So I say call and connect. It doesn't have to always be a verbal phone call. If you do a 20-minute text sprint and you call people, you text them, and you have a message of, hey, Lisa, hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great start to spring. I wish the weather was better. I saw your trip was awesome. Whatever you want to say to these people, okay? I'd love to get together. I'd love us to get together for a drink, glass of wine, right? Or I would also like to get together for breakfast, coffee. When can we get together? I just asked a question she's going to have to answer. By the way, I'm taking new listings. I'm taking new clients for the spring market. If you know of a friend, family member, worker, coworker, or neighbor that I can help, right? Please let me know. I'd be happy to help them, right? Taking new clients for the spring market. Now, I like to end it with a question, but yes, texting is good. If you text people that you don't know, that's a completely different talk track that would have to have amazing, like a value pitch in it, right? That says that they are going to benefit from you contacting them. I thought I'd reach out to you via text. That's to not interrupt your day. I'm Sherri Johnson. I have buyers for your neighborhood. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Here's how to get a hold of me. If I hope I haven't, I don't want to say offended, but if you don't want me to text you, just opt out. Or let's set up a call. Let's set up a conversation, right? I mean, I get those texts and I hit delete, right? I get those texts. I'm on the do not call list. I still get the texts. I know that every city and every state is different on the do not call. So please check that out before you start doing that. But I will tell you, when people ask me, is texting better than calling for people that I'm going to tell you that actually some of the people that it's easier to text them because you are going to interrupt their day, right? So sending a text sometimes is a better way, more effective way to start a conversation with someone. They can respond at their leisure. They can respond when they want to, and there's no expectation, okay? But think about, if I call, what is the point of the call? What is the point of the text? I want to get an appointment with somebody. I just had a client text 35 people. She has 4 leads, actual appointments that are going to happen. List and buy, 2 buyers and 1 listing. From 35 text messages, you guys. That's crazy. I'm like, I'll text 100 people. She texted 35 people. I have another great success story from a client who I keep talking about this. I think Robert's on the call. This manager texted me that his agent, I was talking about expires just a moment ago, got 4 signed listing agreements for expireds. Whether you are a new agent, or you're an experienced agent, or you're a top agent, or you're a team, expireds are out there. They are available. It's like a no-brainer, okay, to me. But you gotta use my script. When you use my script, it works, okay? So we have to have a plan. You have to have the gold mine pipeline. If you've never read it's called the 12-week year, I would recommend grabbing this book. And here's why. And I want you to think in terms of, you know, if you are looking at a quarter, 12 weeks, what do you accomplish in that 12 weeks versus giving yourself the whole year to accomplish these goals that you've set? Okay. I mean, think about this. If you give yourself 12 weeks to get something done, the amount of effort you're going to give is going to be more intense, more specific, more intentional. Like intentionality, love that word. I don't know if it's a real word. When I'm intentional and focused, that's when I don't stop and I keep going until it happens. This book is like a life changer, okay? There are worksheets in it. It's great. You don't have to subscribe to the whole thing. I just want you to think, what if I did more in 12 weeks than the whole 12 months? We give ourselves this huge 12-week period, 12-month period. Sometimes I think if we had shorter, more specific set of goals, set of commitments, like anybody can set a goal. How committed are you to making it happen? Right? That's the difference. Sitting with yourself and saying, why do I know I can do this? What is it going to look like when you make another $300,000? What would you do with that money? I actually want you to write down a list of things you would do. Some of you are like, I get out of debt. Yes. Love that one. Let's have financial freedom. What does that look like? Well, I'd buy a new house, or I'd have money in the bank saved. And what a relief that would be, right? I'm in the business of changing lives for financial freedom. That's it. That's all I care about. Whatever that looks like for you. The expired script, this sheet, all of it is going to be available in a 7-day free trial of the playbook, which is a super easy way to get access to all of our coaching. And it's super inexpensive, and I'll give it to you at the end here. But all these sheets, everything you're going to see can be found there. I want you to figure out your financial goal and forecast. $300,000, right? $300,000 divided by what you make per deal. So let's just say that for example's sake, I make $12,000 a deal. I'll do this at a couple different examples. 300,000, divide that by $12,000. That's what I make per transaction. I need 25 transactions to make 300 grand. Okay. So let's say you make $9,000 a deal, right? 300,000 divided by 9,000 is going to be 33.3. Divide that by, now you can do it for 9 months, or you can do it for the next 12 months. I don't really care. You want to make it happen in 25? Divide that by 9. 33 divided by 9. You need 4 deals, 3.7. Maybe you've already had some sales. You can factor those in. Maybe you could factor in the first quarter and then recalibrate what you need to do from this day on, okay? But you shouldn't have a business plan once a year. You should have a business plan monthly, weekly, daily, quarterly. What do I need to sell this week? What do I need to do to make sure I have those sales versus kind of leaving it up to chance, right? This sheet is part of the playbook, but what you're really doing here is not rocket science. I want you to take what you make per deal and take 300,000 and divide by that. I just did it at $9,000. I'm going to do it at, we'll do it at it's 7,500. Okay. So 300,000 divided by 7,500. I need 40 transactions. And maybe you've already had 10 or 15 transactions. Okay. I'm going to subtract 15 units. I now need 25 deals between now and the end of the year. Or if you want to say I'm going for however long it takes, I'm okay with either answer. We're not quite halfway. We're still in the second quarter. We're actually in the best quarter of the year. Second quarter is the best quarter of the year in most markets. The last quarter is the second best quarter, right? So your last quarter of this year should be, where you bring it home and you sell more, even more than any other, than the other two, like first quarter or third quarter. But we don't think that way. Everyone's dialing it down for the end of the year. Please don't do that. That's go time. That's the last 12-week period you have to make it happen. And I mean, make it happen. You want to map out your year. You want to map out making the money you want to make. This is called the game plan. I made this when I was an agent. It was up on a wall, right off board, also on a spreadsheet in Excel and Google Sheets. You can actually map this out across. This is, again, not rocket science, but it's part of your plan. I would take what you did the first quarter, add it to this, and then recalibrate the rest of the year. This is the tracker for KPIs, which are really actually key performance indicators. Your listings are the name of the game, period. End of story. Like listings first. New sales pending. That's going to be buyer sides or list sides. Closings, what's actually closed in that month. And then obviously your income follows that. Okay. You can actually look at your year to date, year over year, goal versus actual across horizontally, and then also per month vertically. So this one sheet is the way to track that I love. And it's really, really great. Also tracking what you do every month. If your company has purchased Sherri Johnson Academy, either previously or currently, you have this stuff and your managers have it. If you don't have it, you can absolutely get it through the Sherri Johnson playbook, which we'll show you in a few minutes. But here's the thing. You're not tracking and measuring. So you're just sort of, I make some calls this week and next week I don't make any. And then I have an appointment and I don't. If you want to hyper focus on I will until, and you want to have a number of listing appointments every single week, no matter what, and a certain number of people in the gold mine pipeline, leads for future predictable and consistent monthly income, then you have to do this. And you have to track it, okay? And what I mean by that is the tracking part is the part that closes the gap of having results. We can't measure our activities just on the activity. I did all these things. Okay, well, nothing happened. I have to do them until something happens, which means tracking on results only. So if my job was to have X number of sales every month, and if I didn't do that, I didn't have a job, I would be really focused on the results. And so you have to ask yourself, what are you focused on? Are you focused on busy work? Do you have to make a bigger list of things to stop doing? Do you spend too much time servicing your existing clients and not enough time focused on generating new business? That's usually our biggest pitfall. Also, this is a stat that's going to blow your mind. 80% of your life should be spent on generating new business. 80%. 80% of your week. That's a lot. I'd be happy with 70. I'd be happy with 65 to 70. I have a question. How and where to get them? That is the question. Are you talking about expireds, Lena, or are you talking about something else? Because I might have been talking about something else. I don't know. Tell me what you're talking about. Where and how to get them. Phone numbers, maybe, or expired. So the listings. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, to get listings, that is your number one goal. If you are sitting there saying, I don't even know where to start, what lead generation sources are you using to generate listings? Your sphere, expireds, sitting open houses in a move up neighborhood. Okay. If you sit an open house that's going to bring a first time buyer, you're not going to pick up any listings. We want to be sitting where the move up person's going to have a house to sell. That's how you're going to get another listing, right? Canvassing that neighborhood. Nosy neighbors are not nosy. They're actually potential listings if you think about this right and more strategically. So there are lots of how to generate leads for listings. You can't do them all. I need you to focus on a few, okay? I need you to focus on a few. But don't stop until you've done it. We have a program called micro farming. And the micro farming techniques get you listings. That's the whole purpose. Getting you listings for buyers where there are no listings, where the listings aren't that great, right? That's going to turn into more listings. Deal with people who suck your energy. How do you deal with people who suck all your energy without losing them? Are you talking about clients? Veronica, I think it's Veronica. Veronica, is it clients? Yeah. Well, setting better expectations with the client at the front end of the process. So how I work best for you, this is how I work best for you, and controlling the process. Because ultimately you are the professional. Like my attorney would expect to run the show, right? In giving me advice. Same with your CPA. Same with a professional, medical profession or, like a doctor. You cannot be I don't want to say punching bag, but like you can't be I'm getting dragged around by my client. If those are the only clients you have, my advice is to spend less time with them and stop giving all your time and attention to them and go get more clients, because those people are actually costing you money because you're not servicing anybody else. Okay. You have to have more people on the pipeline. If you just have you have one person, one client, most of you are only giving your time and attention to 3 to 5 people that want to do something you think right now. And then if they do buy, right, well, you've sold some houses and now you spend 5 to 6 weeks closing those. And then what? You have to start over. You have to literally start over. The roller coaster ride now happens. Okay. And if those people don't buy, well, then you just had a 0 month in listings, a 0 month in sales, and a 0 month in income. And that's just not okay, is it? Not okay. Not happening. We set goals. We're going to achieve them. I was in one of my clients' offices, and it said, "Are you interested or committed?" And his name is Matt Wooten, if you're on, Matt. And I was like, yes. Are you interested or are you committed? There's a big difference. You have to make it happen. You have to say, I'm going to hit these numbers to set buyer consult appointments every week on my calendar and listing appointments every week. You do that, everything else will take care of itself. You'll make more than $300,000. Okay? I see a big smile, Cordell. You with me? It's true. This is all you have to do is focus on appointments. You want to double your income from last year, double the number of appointments you went on. I learned that in a CRS class. Wish I could remember that awesome guy's name. Ugh. He also told me to fish where the 50-pound salmon were. He taught me that one. And guess what? That meant if you want to be in the $600,000 price point, you need to be where the $600,000 buyers are. That's why I'm telling you, write a plan, have a goal to have 10 listings or 6, whatever your number you're comfortable with. My job's to push you a little bit, but what if you had 6 listings between now and the end of the year actually 9, because there's 9 months left, all right? So 1 listing a month between now and the end of the year in a certain price point. What kind of income does that change for you? You make 3% on $1 million sale. 30 grand. And then figure out your commission, right? You're making $20,000 to $25,000 on 1 sale. You can go after that market. You can and you will. Or you'll tell yourself you can't. I don't know. I don't know what you tell yourself, okay? I know this. Opportunities aren't lost. They go to somebody else. If you keep looking at leads on your pipeline and ruling them out and saying, oh, those people aren't ready yet, I'm not getting an appointment with them, not a good idea. I want you to get an appointment with the B and C people. Please get an appointment with the B and C people. 82% of the time, they will actually list with you. So you have to map out, again, I need X number of sales between now and the end of the year. Divide by 9. That's how many sales you need. That's it. And here's the other secret weapon. Let's say that, I'm going to go back to my calculator. Let's say that I need 25 deals between now and the end of the year. Okay. Divide by 9 months. I need 2.7 deals per month. So I need 3 deals a month. I need 3 closings a month. I'm going to list 3 houses a month because 2 of those 3 are going to sell in the same month. Okay. Unless you're in Texas right now. Parts of Houston are 100 days on market. We don't know why, but that's happening. So if your average days on market is 30 or less, you list 3 houses, they're going to sell this month. There's 3 of your 4 sales. Actually, it's 3 of your 3 sales. You need 3 sales, right? But let's say one of them doesn't sell this month, 2 sell this month, and a buyer buys. Do you have your 3 sales? Yes. Could you maybe have 4 sales between now and the end of the year per month? Yes. You can have whatever you want, actually. You just have to put it in plan, put it together, and execute. You're the chief executing officer of your business. That's the CEO. You literally have to do the action. That's it. Do the action. Don't waste these opportunities. Every single lead that's on your pipeline will buy or sell eventually. I want you to be the one that maximizes that opportunity, whether it takes 2 months or 11 months, right? They will buy from you. Even if they're ghosting you, it's part of the deal. It takes 5 contacts to get a yes. 5 times, not 2, not 1. 50% of you give up after the first time you follow up with somebody. So I want you to really think about like the last time you missed an opportunity. The sign went up, it was in the MLS, whatever. And what happened? You didn't get the lead. You didn't maximize it. You didn't get a meeting with them. 82% of the time, they're going to list with you, even if they're not ready for 6 months. Get an appointment with them, secure and cement the relationship, and get in the house because their plans may change. And that 6 to 12 month timeline they were on might be 3 to 6 instead. Okay. But you're not going to know if you don't get an appointment with them. All right. So I'm back to my 3 deals. I need 3 deals a month. And now I need 3 listings and 1 or 2 buyers a month. What if you could list 3 houses a month? I know you can do it. I've done it. I remember this one November, I had 13 listings out of nowhere. 13 listings in 1 month. I don't even know what I did. November. So what happens if you go over to the light switch and turn it on? What happens if you put in 10x activity instead of 1x? Okay. 10% increase does not do much, but a 10x increase takes 10 to 100. And a 10% increase takes 10 to 11. So where are you in that scale? Are you looking at the lead cycle? Are you looking at the fact that people take time to buy and sell? Meet them where they are. Okay. But if you don't get this appointment right here, nothing of this is going to happen. And certainly none of this income is going to happen. Everybody goes on the gold mine pipeline. Where can I find expired listings phone number? If it's an LLC, that's a tough one. You might have to do a little bit more research, or you can drop off an expired packet, send them something in the mail to the LLC address, maybe even do a little bit more research on that LLC to find their information. That's helpful. And remember, you've got two different kinds of calls. If you are constantly working in the business on current sellers and current buyers and closings, that's not lead generation. That's not getting new business and not securing new appointments. Your biggest and best, literally your best effort, in my opinion, is doubling the number of appointments that you go on, period, end of story. That's it. So what's the difference between, you making 300 grand and not making another 300 grand? It's not having a plan. If you want to double your business, double the number of appointments you go on. Look at last year's appointments on average. How many appointments did you go on per month? What if you increased your calls and increased your texts and increased your connections with people? What if you had a plan to create a 95% referral rate, or even took it to 75%? What would that do for you? What would that do for your business? This all boils down to having a set schedule and putting it on the calendar. If you do not have a plan, zero will happen. And you can't just say, well, you have an option. You can keep doing what you're doing, or you can set your schedule and actually dictate when you're going to do these lead generation activities. Top teams we coach, they have call days every day. Their team is on from 9 to 11:30 every day, booking appointments for themselves. That's why they're selling 400 houses a year. The team, right? What do you do individually to ensure you have a calendar full of appointments? This is a mindset function. This is a plan. This is having an actionable to-do list. That's it. Focusing on the right things. You only need to focus on 2 to 3 lead generation tactics. That's it. Okay. What we tend to do is we don't like some of them, or we say, oh, that didn't work, so I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to tell you, we've seen this phrase before, done is better than perfect. And whether you put out some video, whether you start doing social media, you start using AI to up your game, to put more content out, better newsletter, more value, a VIP loyalty, whatever it is you put out there, just do it. Because right now, nothing's happening, right? So sometimes I always say I'd rather you have 3 listing appointments and have no idea what you're taking to that appointment than to have a really nice listing presentation and not have any appointments, right? I'd rather you have appointments and say, I don't know what I'm doing, than have some marketing piece, okay, and not have any appointments. Your whole life depends upon appointments. Have I made that pretty clear? I think I have. So I want you to put in the chat, what is your goal for listings per week? If you could have a listing appointment goal. And I'm not talking about this one where they sign. That would be the ultimate listing. Thank you, Bobby. Everybody, put in the chat what your number is, okay? Thank you, Caroline. Your expired contact info, I would use red X, RED, capital X. Thank you all for putting in your numbers. This is awesome. 3 per week, 5 per week. I'm seeing great numbers. I had a guy tell me 5 a day. 5 conversations for listings a day. How about that? One of the top teams in the country. The team leader said that, right? So if you're a team leader right now and you want to take your team to the next level, let's take everybody to success. That is what it is about. You have to start before you're ready. Nothing is going to happen until you launch. I'm telling you right now, you are not only deserving of this financial freedom, it is there for the taking. It is there to have for you. It is not about looking at other people in your company or in your marketplace and saying they get this and that's why. No more. We don't need to say that. You know why? Because you have everything it takes to go do this. You have it all. You always have. I'm just here to remind you of it. I'm literally just here to remind you of it. Your success is going to be wildly contagious. As a matter of fact, it will breed more success for yourself. 3 to 5 sales will start happening. You will start feeling like the rock star that you are. When you add up the gold mine pipeline and you're like, I have enough in the pipeline to make $300,000, you're going to say, wow, Sherri Johnson was right. And I've seen the movie. I did it myself. I've watched people go from 3 million to 10 million. We have success story after success story. People going from 10 to 25 million. People going from 350 in income to making $1 million in the same year. Okay. So if you're already at those numbers and you want to make another 300 grand, just let's put it on paper and let's make it happen. It's really up to you. That's it. You just have to say, oh, I'm doing this. And I was reminded today from Sherri Johnson that I can and I will. Stop saying if. Stop saying tomorrow. Stop saying I'll try this maybe. Trying is an incomplete action. I was told that. And you know what? It's true. When you have that sale, that person tells you they're going to list with you. And you're like, I just got hired. Here's what I want you to do. Right when you get hired, right when you put that deal together, right when you're like, I sold another listing, I want you to go make 10 more calls to people. Who's with me? When you sell a house, when you get hired, when someone says, I'm giving you the listing, I want you to put the phone down, celebrate for a second, and then I want you to make 10 more calls right then. Right then. I learned this from one of the best salespeople ever. You know, and I was on a call before you guys got on here, and I did the, Jerry Maguire. I just watched that movie recently, and they used to call me Sherri Maguire, actually, because I had a headset on in my office, right? And the guy, Jerry Maguire's mentor, he gets on, he's like, yes, today's the day. Isn't that what he says? He claps his hands and he gives Jerry Maguire some awesome piece of advice. And that guy for me was a guy by the name of Jeff Stein. And he told me, I was celebrating a sale I had. I was in printing sales. I'm 22 years old. And he's like, did you just sell something? And I said, yes, I did. And I'm all dancing through the hallways. And he goes, great. Stop celebrating and go make 10 more calls. And I was like, okay, wow. And he was like, go do it right now, kid. Thank God this guy sold $90 million. So he used to sell, and he taught me how to embrace that energy, that confidence that you have when you are on top and you feel like $1 million. All right, we're going to put this in the chat. Liz, Kristen, one of you please throw it in the chat. A free coaching, 20-minute free coaching call with me. Can you believe this? It's like 70 people on this call. You want a coaching call with me? Check us out. I'm here. My calendar's open. I just put it out there. Time slots will book up fast. If you just had a coaching call with me this week, you probably had your call, but it's cool. I'm good with whatever. Some of you just signed up for coaching. I see you're on here. I'm so excited. I know this, right? Our coaching clients make another 150 to 300 in 1 year from using our strategies. This stuff works. Whether you sign up for coaching or not, I am interested in helping you. I want to help you literally take your life to the next level, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's work-life balance. Let's work smarter, not harder. Let's make it happen. 2025 is the year. This is it. You have the ability. You have, I hope, a new mindset. And I hope now, more than ever, you believe that you can and you will. So take a look at that. I've got a couple of success stories. This is this gal called me. She said, you said I could triple my business income. Can I in a year? And I said, yeah, how hard are you willing to work? And Melinda, God bless her, did all the heavy, hard lifting. And she went from 3 to 9 million in 1 year. The year after that, she did 12. The year after that, she's now at 80. I think last year she sold 84 houses. She's been in coaching with us for 4 years now, and she'll do over 100 units this year, right? Every year, challenging years. And you know what? She doesn't have a team. She's selling literally 100 houses with no team. Okay, her name's Melinda. She's awesome. If you want to talk to her, she'd be happy to. Here's a great story, 100 grand from one open house. I have people telling me that's impossible. Managers, stop selling houses and you lost the fire. Someone says that's impossible. I go, you don't know my strategy. This literally works. Dawn did this with a house that was $250,000. She had a lot of people there. She converted them. She added value. She had a better strategy. She made $100,000. I think it was $97,000. We rounded it up. She made that by being intentional about an open house strategy and closing more listings from that open house. You can connect with me here, download the calendar invite here, and I would love to help you. And I can guarantee you that results are about what we are. This is not platitude. This is not wishful thinking. This is not hyperbole. This is actual. And so our entire success lies in your success and your results. And so if this stuff didn't create results, we wouldn't have any customers. And I know this, right? You are so capable. You are so able to make the next 300 grand happen. Whether you're at 300 or 600 right now and you want to take it to the next level, please. That is inspiring to me, what you do. And I know how hard you work. I've done it. I did it. I still do it. I still sit across the table from clients. I know the struggle. But I'm going to tell you right now, you avoid the noise, you focus, and you give yourself a plan and a literally tenacity that's do or die. Like, that's how I am. I'm a single mom. 1,000% responsible financially for my kids, always have been for 20 years. That's it. Walk off the cliff, start a coaching company. What could you do? I want you to visualize it. I want you to see it. I want you to make it happen. It's all possible. We had an agent go from $40,000 a year. She's making 40 grand a year. She makes 15 to 20 a month. Now that makes me very happy. Okay. What could you do? What could you do? Just have a tenacious plan. Stop with the stuff that doesn't serve you. Stop with the I'll do it tomorrows. Whatever that to stop doing list is. Some of it might be like, turn off the TV, stop scrolling. Thank you. You guys are amazing. I love your comments. Listen, stop scrolling. Get busy. If you're going to be on social media, talk to people. Don't just like their stories. Write them a message. They'll write you back. That will create a conversation. How many of you signed up for a call? I hope that you, I know it. Thank you, Pam. Pam Young. Hey, good to see you. Listen, you have the ability. You just have to have a better plan. 90% of agents, 98% of agents do not have a strategy, do not have a business plan. You just need to say, this is how many deals I need. And many of you put in the comments how many listing appointments and buyer appointments you are going to schedule. That is the #1 formula for wild success. So I will see you on your free strategy call, and I'll see you next Thursday, because if you got on late, Catalyst Coaching by Sherri Johnson is every single week on Thursdays. You can tune in for free. We'll send you the link. You can also opt in to receive texts. We're going to be putting out daily tips and lots of value, lots of information that will help you this year. It's all free. Take advantage of it. And if you want this free coaching call, please set it up and we will be with you. I also, oh my gosh, I almost forgot the playbook. Liz, could you please put the playbook into, I don't have a slide for that. So the playbook is going to give you access to the entire Sherri Johnson Academy. You can get this for 7 days free, and we'll put the playbook link into the chat. Let's see if that's there. There it is, 7-day. I'm just going to click on it right now. And this will give you all of the strategies that you need, the gold mine pipeline, and then it will give you access to 70 courses, short how-to courses that you can watch when you want to. Download the course content, the letters, the expired plan, the scripts, the letters for micro farming, all of it. $49 a month for just the access. And then if you want a free coaching call with that It's a group coaching call. It's $99 a month. So take advantage of that. We'd love to have you in the playbook. And second to that is, if you want to sign up for coaching, we will give you in the playback video and the email that we send you a coupon for 50% off your first month of coaching, whether you start at $595 a month or $995 a month. We'll give you a free, not free, but a coupon for 50 off your first month for coaching. And that's going to actually be in the link that you can click on and sign up for coaching, sign up for this call, however you want to work it. If you just want, I just got a bunch of appointments booked. Listen, it's all available. It is all up to you. And it is literally going to change your life. And what I love the most about our coaching is that I literally see people, I see their lives change, and wow, it is fantastic. So if you were in coaching with us previously, you want to come back, let's do it. If you're in coaching with us, you rock, you're amazing. Can't wait to continue to see your success. And if you've never done it, join our playbook. You get 7 days for free. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime. And you get access to the Sherri Johnson Academy, which is unbelievable. Lots of great stuff. I'll see you next Thursday and every Thursday. I'm Sherri Johnson, you guys. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for staying on even longer. We have people in the waiting room still. I don't know how that's possible. Guys, enjoy your week. Have a great listing and sales week. Remember, you have a listing or sale this week. You just don't know the address. Let's go make it happen. 300. We can do this. I'll see you guys next week on Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.